I executed today because I had a commitment. My commitment is I work out every freaking day. Every day I work out. That's the commitment. The feeling said you can take the day off. You worked so hard. You got the results. You're feeling good. Chill. Good morning, and welcome to another episode of Mindset Mastery. I am your host, Araujo, and I am happy to be here on another Monday. 4 years like clockwork, and I'm happy you're joining us. If you're coming on, please check in. And we'll take a minute here to greet you all. And man, I love Mondays. I love it. Good morning, Isabel. Good morning, Nick. Good morning, Rudy. Let's go ahead and get started on the topic of the day. You know, your ability to take an idea to execution, right, is what will determine your success. That's what will determine your success. And, you know, I had a few lessons about that this morning, as a matter of fact. You know, when you have a concept and you execute, that's when growth really happens. And this morning, it happens every once in a while. Like, I love working out. I love feeling good. And I understand because I've attached myself to the result, right? I've attached everything that I do of how it feels. You know, we touched upon that here on the last sales meeting about the feeling. You got to understand what that feeling is of success, right? The feeling of closing transactions, the feeling of having money injected into your bank account. That's what has to be the driver for us to continue to do it over and over and over again, right? And not just think about the process, because the process sucks. I'm going to tell you that right now. Like, everything you do, you don't love everything you do. The process oftentimes sucks. It's a process. That's why it's called a process. It's work, right? So we have to attach ourselves to the feeling. So this morning, I get up, my normal time, 5:30, and I take the dogs out, and man, I'm like wasting time. Typically around this time, I'm taking my vitamins, I'm taking my pre-workout, and I'm straight into the gym. But this time, I'm just like not feeling it. I'm not feeling it, and I'm making an excuse for myself. I'm like, I'm exhausted. I'm tired. My body needs recovery. I'm going to wake up the girls and go for a walk instead. You know, I need to spend time with them. Like, all these stories start coming around about what to do instead of doing the things that I'm supposed to do, right? Of my commitments, because my commitment is to work out every day, is to do something productive for my body, because I understand the feeling that comes from it. After I work out, the feeling is I'm going to go out and kill it. And, you know, I started buying into this story that I'm exhausted, that my body needs rest. I've been working out so hard, right? And it happens in different aspects of your life as well. For your business, you close a bunch of transactions, all of a sudden, you know, I'm not even going to go to work today because, you know, I've been working so hard. But the thing is, now you're going based on feeling. What I was experiencing is based on feeling and not necessarily commitment. Because my commitment says I have to show up every day. Your commitment to your business says you have to show up regardless of how many transactions you close. But there's a sense of comfort, right, that we tend to grasp onto. And then we support it with the story that we've been working really, really hard. And that was my story this morning. And then I remembered I have a commitment. I said I'm going to do something. That's what I do, period. My word is gold. My family understands that. I understand that. People in my sphere understand that. That when I say it's going to get done, it's going to get done. And every time you say something and don't do it, you erode that confidence, you erode that trust. And you may be able to get away with it for a while. Your family won't notice. Your friends won't notice, but you will. You'll start eroding that power that you feel. So here I go. I'm like pacing in my house, and I'm like, fuck it. Okay, I'm gonna go to my gym. And I sit there and I'm looking at the weights, and I'm like, dude, I really don't want to go at this. I don't know why. And again, I know how I feel afterwards. So I pick up the weights and I go light, and I convince myself, you know what? I'm not feeling today. I'm gonna go light today. I'm going to go really light, and I'm just going to finish up here in about 40 minutes. No big deal. So I start lifting the weights, and then something happens within me. Like, I get inspired now to do heavier weight. And I go through that, and I'm like, man, I'm feeling strong today. And then that inspires me and motivates me to pick up heavier weight. And I'm going through it. I'm like, man, okay. And the feelings that I had prior to are now long gone because I decided just to get going. And some of you are stuck in this place of just thinking about it, exhausting yourself mentally, physically, overwhelmed about all the things that we have to do that you do nothing at all. And here's the thing, it's frustrating. It's frustrating to see so much potential around me. And those of you, and I'm not talking about all of you, and those of you that are unwilling just to take the next step because you don't feel like it, as opposed to just taking that commitment and accessing that power like we talked about, the prime 3 and the P3. Accessing that power by doing something for yourself mentally and physically. And reminding yourself why it is that you're doing it through your purpose. Internally, for you, the feeling. Understand that internal is about the feeling you get of success, of accomplishment. Like Ruben said, accomplishment. And then backing that up through external reasons. Because of the lifestyle you want to live or for your family. You ultimately will get the result, which is the profit. And that's all the P3 stands for. That's all the prime 3 is. If you follow that methodology, you will get everything that you want. Through power, purpose, and profits, the end result. And I saw so many eyes light up in last week's meetings. And yet, some of you can't get past the feeling. And here's the thing, this is not necessarily for the people that are not producing at a high level, even those that are producing. Because being comfortable is just as bad, if not worse, than not producing at all. Being comfortable. And some of you have taken great steps to have the most successful quarter you've ever had. And then comfort sets in. When you have the ability to blow the lid off this game, to create a lifestyle you only imagined. But we're constantly in this battle of fighting our feelings as opposed to just looking at the commitments we made. And that's what I want you to do right now. Is to refocus on the commitments as opposed to how you're feeling. And then executing on what your commitments were. I executed today because I had a commitment. My commitment is I work out every freaking day. Every day I work out. That's the commitment. The feeling said you can take the day off. You worked so hard. You got the results. You're feeling good. Chill. But I have a conviction about commitment because I know where my feelings take me. My feelings take me to mediocrity. My commitment, it takes me to levels I never realized were available to me. So I did it. And I'm in there. And I'm just piling on the weight. Doing 85s. I haven't done that type of weight in years. 90. It's like, man, okay. I'm going to go for 95. And I'm pushing 95s. My weights only go to 100, the dumbbells. I got weights from 5 pounds all the way to 100 pounds. The 100 pounds have dust on them. That's how long I haven't used them. So I dusted those bad boys off, and I picked them up. And I did the most weight I've ever done in about 2 years since my surgeries. And I not only didn't do it just one time, 3 times. And if I were to backtrack just 40 minutes prior to that, I would have lost out on the fire I have right now. And the appreciation that, shit, I've come a long way. From a time where I only wished I could pick up my daughters to now throwing up 100-pounders. And I remember those times, feeling sorry for myself. If I could only pick up my daughters. I had an opportunity many times prior to that I chose not to do it. That was just simply a reminder. My commitment is to always be there for my daughters. So I killed it. And I feel good. And I know some of you right now are just hurting financially. Your confidence is down the drain. It's not where you want to be. And the struggle is hard. Getting the business up and going is hard. Taking your business to the next level is hard. And like I said, some of you are just getting comfortable. You have more money than you ever had, and you're just like, this is good. And I'm going to remind you that wherever you're at, wherever it may be, whether you're struggling or doing good, there's always more within you. And if you're struggling, guess what? Your back is against the wall right now. And it's time to just get over those damn feelings, that ego that you have, and just start doing the things you know will work. It's time for you to do the things that you don't feel like doing, sending those emails, making those phone calls, texting, open houses, putting yourself out there, declaring you're the authority. I know how those feelings are. And don't give me that story that you're not committed. You're committed. Every one of you is committed. The problem is, some of us are committed to the stories of why you can't, but you're still committed. So I'm going to give you that. Maybe it's just changing it and commit of showing on how you can. Because there's more writing on you than just your feelings. And we've laid out a basic framework, a basic foundation that is so easy that it's almost easy not to do. But if you tap into the source, the prime three, understanding that it is your responsibility to access that power, that fuel, we all need that fuel. And you won't get that by isolating yourself at your house. You won't get that by thinking about working out and not doing it. You won't be there by putting the responsibilities of just being a mom or just a dad or just whatever it may be in front of your overall purpose, which is a feeling. You're capable of having it all. So your commitment is there, no question about it. The story needs to change. So you access that fire by taking care of you. You access it. And then you fuel it. You continue to fuel that fire through your purpose, which is often correlated to the feeling of how it feels when you accomplish certain things. And then you take a step back from there. And maybe you look at why? Like, I would like my kids to see me in power. Then and only then you can say, yeah, I'm doing this for them as well. But first is about you. And overcoming those stories and simply executing on the idea. Executing on the thoughts you had at the sales meeting. Executing on the thoughts you had last night about all the great things you're going to do. But it's amazing, right? Like I had a whole plan of what I'm going to do today. And yet, I got overwhelmed by it to a point where I didn't even want to make it to the gym. And we all have great ideas. There's my checklist. I don't know if you can see it. You can't see that, but there's a checklist, mile long, that I need to take care of. And if I went based on my feelings, none of that shit would have been done. None of it. But I have a commitment. And I want you to tap into that. Tap into that power. Remind yourself through your purpose. And you will realize the profits every single time. It's a simple formula. It comes down to what I'm asking you to do is to fight for yourself. You need that fire. You need to remind yourself that you are committed. And not just simply to the stories of why you can't. This is it. It's up to you. And I used to feel so bad for those that I saw the potential and they just never took it to the next level. Or even producers that were constantly at 5 to 8 million, but then couldn't take it to the next level. I would almost feel responsible. But it has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with your family. It has nothing to do with anything else but you. And when you take that responsibility, there's a whole new level of solutions you could come up with. Otherwise, there will always be that blame. So it's time for you to take that thought process, that concept, and start executing. I did weight today that I haven't done in a few years, 2 years at minimum. And I feel powerful. Because I know my commitment is far greater and more powerful than the feelings. And we all have that. You have that today. So let's think about what it is that you've been thinking about doing. And what can you do to simply execute on that? Because we all have things we don't want to do. It's a process. The process sucks. Your job is to focus on the profits, the outcomes, the results, the accomplishment. But if you're getting stuck on step number 1, it's going to be a hard life, guys. It's going to be so hard. Because if you can't do this for your business, good luck. Good luck in your relationships. Good luck building that confidence. So we all have ideas. Now it's time for you to execute. No more holding back. You need to become the authority in your space. People need to get tired of just seeing you so much, so committed to your craft of helping others get what they want. The one post a day is not enough. The one live is not enough. How bad do you want it? Because if you don't have what you want right now, then you're leaving a lot on the table of the things you're not doing because of the feelings, not because of your commitment. You're committed. We're all committed. Successful people just know how to execute on those commitments. That's it. That's the only difference. And they don't delay it. You have the framework now. You have a clear guideline of what you need to accomplish by the end of the year. And the only way you will not reach it is if you continue to tap into the feelings of not wanting to do it, of how you can't do it. Because I know where I'm going by the end of the year. And I'm asking you to take a stand for yourself and come with me. That's what I'm asking. I don't want to look at you and say, oh, so much potential down the drain. Or, oh, this could have been a $15 million year, but you got comfortable at 7. Because I understand the benefits of you raising that bar for yourself. Doing the things you didn't think were capable for yourself. There's like the byproduct of that. Your family will notice. But more importantly, you will notice. And you'll start leveling up every aspect of your life if you can just simply do this for yourself. So that's the game right there. Understand that you're committed. Now it's a matter of, can that commitment be more? Can you have that commitment with more conviction than your feelings? That's it. That's what the game's all about. What are you guys hearing in this conversation? Good morning, Rudy, Cindy, Claudia, Audra, Armando, Michelle, Olivia. Good morning, Kim, Wendy, Jermaine. What's going on, my brother? Susan, Jermaine, Eric. Closing my last escrow made me question how to get the next one easier. I started to stress myself to find the easy route. When I know what I already have done worked, but it was tiring. Yes, the process, because we're focused on the process, right? And I love that you're bringing this up, Eric, because all you simply needed to do is to kind of shift yourself like 1 degree over to the right, and you're like, oh, it's about the result. Not necessarily the process, because not all of us are going to love the process. It sucks sometimes. It's overwhelming. It's draining. It's painful. So we avoid the real work, the process. And yet we still want the end result. Then we get upset at ourselves. We don't have that when we're avoiding the process. So let's see here. When I knew what I already have done worked, but it was tiring. So I tried to do that over talking to you let me know that I have to just do what I know works, which was open houses. I held one open this weekend and had 40 families show up. Unbelievable. Like, for 40 families to show up, that's like 2011 type of industry, right? 2011 type of market. It's crazy how our mind can steer us the wrong way. And I'm going to give a little backstory to this because I want everyone to pay attention here. I want everybody just to maybe reinforce their thoughts. Eric has had some success, and he's like, "Hey, I have this income that I've made, and I want to do something with it. What should I do? Where's my best investment?" And I simply asked them a simple question: how did you get those deals? And we forget those things when we want the easier route. See, he wasn't really asking, where should I reinvest it? He's saying to me, I want an easier path. And he realized that right there. When it's not about the easiness, it's about focusing on the accomplishment. Eric, how does it feel to have that much money in the bank at your age? Pretty damn good. So the focus is not to steer away from what has worked to try to find an easier path, but to double down on that process. Because that'll work for you every single time. As a matter of fact, 40 families, that's unheard of. But if you would have been on this route to look for something easier, you would have missed out on that opportunity. And then ask yourself 2 or 3 months later, I don't know what happened. I don't know how I'm going to get my next deal. That was just a reward to remind you, hey, Eric, like, you got a process that works, young man. Double down on that. Build on that. And be okay with having that money in the bank account where you don't have to just spend it or just, throw it away or reinvest it in something that's not going to work for you. So you're doubling down on your open houses. You're going to build a business from that. And as that money starts becoming more consistent, then we will explore other options. That's how it works. But I love it, guys. And it's the commitment to go back and to look at your trends. And that's all the meeting was about last week. Each one of us has a process that works. And you'll be able to see that on the months you killed it and on the months that you got killed by this industry where nothing was produced. And the action items were what happened 60 to 90 days prior to that. It's to analyze our results and just to double down on the commitment, not necessarily on the feeling. Rudy, you can only hold yourself back from accomplishing great things. That's it. That's the game. Guys, I want to thank you for joining me for another episode of Mindset Mastery. Let's live up to our commitments. Let's not question that, because each one of you has that embedded in your DNA. Now it's about picking the right things to do, regardless of how we feel, and just simply executing on it. So here's what I want you to do today, because I felt a little overwhelmed yesterday as well of all the things that I want to do. And I think it kind of, affected me this morning because I didn't want to do much at all because of all the things I had to do. So just take a moment as soon as you finish this call. As a matter of fact, as I'm speaking right now, write down the things that you have to do. Put it in a checklist item and get used to be able to check that stuff off. It really starts building your confidence. And guess what? It gives you a sense of accomplishment. And that's what purpose is all about. Feeling accomplished. Guys, thank you again for joining me for another episode of Mindset Mastery. I will talk to you soon. Have a great day.